Bajari Gamarua. I'm Jeff Donoghue on behalf of our ICC Sydney team. Welcome to Melissa and the ABEA team, but also welcome to our friends and industry colleagues who are both here in the room and are also dialing in from around 8 locations, I believe, around the country. And in doing so, I acknowledge that this venue, ICC Sydney, operates on the traditional lands of the Gadigal, as those in those 8 locations across Australia also do so on the traditional lands of their traditional owners. So on your behalf, we pay our respects to all elders of all generations. Today is a very important milestone in a very important journey, and that is that of our peak industry representative body, the Australian Business Events Association. The ABEA team and so many other colleagues who've participated in this process to get us to have worked very, very hard to get the organisation and the industry to where it is today, and where it is where we've achieved, where at the point we've got to by ABEA's efforts and everyone's involved is taken us to being accurately and emphatically defined in 3 different ways. We're defined structurally, a very complex industry covering many business segments and very detailed, deep supply chains. We're defining ourselves and setting about defining ourselves, ensuring that we are, and particularly ensuring that we're defined statistically so that the enormous economic benefit that our business events create is recognised and appreciated right across the board. We're also setting out to define ourselves strategically, so that particularly highlighting and advancing the role of governments of all levels that they need to play in maximising those economic benefits, but also the societal and community benefits that our business events create and deliver. So we're going to hear much more about that today from Melissa. So to lead us through that session, would you please welcome the CEO of ABEA, Melissa Brown.
Thank you, Jeff, and thank you to the ICC for hosting us. And as Jeff said, welcome to you here and everywhere around Australia. We actually have a couple more locations. We've got people dialing in also from Catherine and Alice Springs in Northern Territory, so hello to you. And also Janet, our board member, is buckled down in Cairns, so she'd like to be in Brisbane with everyone else, I'm sure, but hello to Janet. So I was asked a few weeks ago what I would say to describe in one word the business events industry. And it was pretty easy for me to think of what to say, and I would say passionate. The amount of love of what you do and the passion that is there within the industry is palpable. And I just do a little bit of a around the traps on the passion monitor from my travels. And starting here in Sydney, we have sole traders like Orlando, who's doing the photographs today. Up in Queensland, you've got Loop Events, who are our ticketing sponsor for today. Niche and Simon there are passionate about technology for the events industry, and I think they've got a lot in store for us. In Northern Territory, someone like Natalie, who runs an events company there and is passionate about providing a great experience to the ag industry, for instance, amongst many other things. She's involved in so much. Only on Monday I was speaking with Judith and Liesl at the Western in Perth, and they're clearly passionate about the service that they're providing and how that links back to the quality of their brand. In South Australia, I met with Ash, who's Novatech Creative Events Technology, and that's what he's passionate about, creative events technology. And in Canberra, Stephen, who we'll hear from soon, who's really trying to drive that business into the nation's capital and work with government and so on. In Victoria, one of the most passionate members I've met is Gab at Harry the Hirer, who's really done a great job of looking after his staff and really, really is passionate about providing quality product and quality materials to the industry. Last but not least, Tasmania. I haven't got down there yet, but I'm sure there's a lot of passion in the Apple Isle. So the next area that I see a lot of passion from is the board, and as Jeff says, it took a lot to get to this point, and I thank them for the passion of driving this to make ABEA happen. And so we're 6 months in, we've launched the business, we've launched the brand, we've already run a program on leading well, and we've launched our 17 councils, but more about those last two shortly. For me, it's 3 months, and I'm still saying to people that I feel most days I'm drinking out of the fire hydrant. There's so much to learn and so much to do, but it's all really exciting stuff, and I think there's an enormous opportunity. And I really hope to hear from everyone across the full industry. And if you feel that your voice isn't being heard, or that I need to learn more about your particular part of the industry, please let me know. I come with no bias, no ego, and just a real eagerness to find out more about how we can make the industry prosperous. The other thing that is a call out for me as I've travelled around is around education, training and skills. It is the most common challenge everyone is experiencing. Whether that be a state-based AV company like Dream Media up in Northern Territory, or a huge national group like Informa, everyone has had some type of challenges over the last three years with the changes to the workforce. And I think that's where, as an industry, we can come together and try and solve that problem. I do wish I had a magic wand, but I don't, and I don't have the answer to it right now, but I know that education, skills and training will get us a long way, but there's so much that we can be doing that's not the formal sort of education. There's so much knowledge that's still in the industry, and that still can be transferred and worked out amongst us, whether it be through webinars or networking events, etc. And I think that we really need to create a career path for people, and that's for people that are already in the industry, but also to attract people from outside. The number of times I'm hearing that we've got this huge gap of people that have left and talent pool that's gone, and unfortunately the people that are coming in, and this is not for everyone, but there's people that are coming in that don't necessarily have that skills and knowledge that we want. But what's also missing, I think, a bit is that passion. And I think if we gave them a career path, they would be a lot more passionate about joining the industry. Yes, they may have to work on weekends, and yes, they may need to work later, and unfortunately we may not be able to pay them the 15% more that they're asking, but we need to create more of an industry career path for them. So that is something that we want to work towards. So that's all about creating value. So it's value for you as members and value for people within the industry. And so I just wanted to go through, probably bunching into 3 quick areas around where I see that value and us providing that back over the next year. First is member services. Second is around partnerships, and third is around the councils. So with the member services, we want to get out and see as many people as we can, or talk to them on the phone, Teams meetings, catch up with you in networking events, etc. Your voice needs to be heard, and we want to hear it, and we want to work for you on that. We're also creating a website, database, member portal, so you'll be able to access a whole lot more information. We've already put all the members up onto the website just recently, so you can go in and see who else is up there. But also in January, getting out to you a calendar so that you can see what is happening next year, the events that are there, the board meetings, the networking opportunities, the training, etc. And we'll be constantly adding to that as we go throughout the year. The second area around partnerships, as Jeff mentioned, things like advocacy are critical to us, the research and data piece. So looking at partnerships on the research side, so already talking to academics and universities about where they can help us, so we're not relying completely on the government and Austrade. Partnerships with our international partners like ICA and UFI on areas like sustainability, diversity and inclusion and so on. And clearly partnerships on the education front. We can't do it all alone, so we'll need to work with others to create that. On the councils, which you'll hear from soon, There's a lot of activity already going on now, and someone had said the other day there's a lot of crossover between the councils. So we have our pillars, which are our sectors around venues, bureaus, etc. We've got all of our special interest groups like education, sustainability, and then we have all of our state and territory chapters. I think it's a great thing that there's crossover. We're focusing on the right stuff. It means that we've got common problems that we can work on together. So there'll be a lot of collaboration across those groups, which is really exciting. They'll also have access through to the board and other stakeholders, and they'll also be the vehicles for us to do what I am calling purposeful networking. So getting together with a reason to get together more than just having a drink, which is also fun. And one of those councils that is doing a lot of work already and are very passionate, our Emerging Leaders Council. And so we have already run, as I said before, the Leading Well program. And talk about value, we have had enormous feedback around the value that has provided, not from just the participants, but we've had managers come back and said, we've already got our membership value through seeing what those participants are bringing back after the course. So I want to thank Momentous Technologies and Business Events Australia for the support that they've given us with that and the sponsorship. It was really appreciated. So on the screen there are all of our graduates. They will each be receiving a certificate and the applause that they deserve at our sessions locally around Australia after the live stream. So well done to all of them. So in closing, it's really for me about building that value for you as members and making sure that we're constantly on the lookout for new ideas and trying to solve problems for you. Really making sure that we promote the industry. I don't think we do a great job at marketing ourselves, and one of those things, as I said, is creating a career pathway for people. I was just saying to Keith earlier, for an industry that's so good at doing amazing events, we don't have our own show reel, and so making sure that we do that promotion. So as far as value goes and as far as the year ahead and what we have on offer, we have asked the panel today to talk about what's ahead for us and give us some insights from both an industry perspective and a market perspective. So I'd like to ask up Lynn and the panel members to come to the stage. And while they're doing that, I just wanted to make an apology for Peter King, our chair. He was going to be on the panel today, but he became a grandfather again last night, which is very exciting for him. And family always trumps work, so he is down in Melbourne and hoping to join all of you in Melbourne shortly. So I will now hand over to Lynn and the panel.
Can clap. Thanks, Melissa, and what a great, stellar job you have done 3 months into the role. We are in good hands, that's for sure. Welcome everyone here and welcome everyone online. I have a stellar panel as well today, who I'm going to introduce just briefly, but to Pete, who's out there, congratulations on becoming a granddad, and I'm sure you're enjoying those days with your family. I will start with Kelly. Kelly's been with TA for 10 years now. She's travelled to every continent, I think, this year, selling Australia to the world. And so we're privileged to have her on the panel. We have Adele Labine-Romain, there we go. Adele is a partner at Deloitte Access Economics and Deloitte Australia's National Travel, Hospitality and Leisure Sector. You were a researcher at Tourism Australia and before that Executive Director of Tourism at TTF. So we are in good hands in terms of the macro environment and what you do at Deloitte now. And then obviously Dom is stepping in for Pete. Dom was the CEO of the ABEA. He's played an integral role in the consolidation of the 3 industry associations to bring us together as the Australian Business Events Association, so well done. And now you're COO, so plenty of work ahead of you with Melissa and the team. I did do a little bit of homework. And I think to Melissa's point about us being passionate about this industry, I just wanted to know where all of us had come from before we stepped into this industry. Now, Kelly actually started at the Grand Hyatt in Melbourne, so from McDonald's into the industry straight away. Adele was a litigation officer at a law firm in Canada, and Dom sold electronics for Philips for 13 years. And I started out in retail banking with ANZ. And I think, you know, all of you have a story here, and to Melissa's point, this is a career opportunity for us and to engage with others to come into our career. And the passion point for me, and I'm sure all of us, is around our purposeful work. We build marketplaces, we build meeting places for people to come and discuss and debate the big issues and solve some problems. The partnerships that we form are lifelong partnerships and great friendships, but it's the performance of this organisation, not the organisation, but the industry. It's a $36 billion industry, and not many people know about that. So to Melissa's point again, we have a lot of work to do to amplify the great work that we do as an industry and stay passionate people and stay in the industry and bring new people in with you. So just reflecting on 2023, we'll do a quick reflection and then we'll go to 2024 to see what the future has ahead of us. It's been nearly 2 years since the international borders opened, and China just this year, and we're seeing great opportunities coming out of that market. International aviation's not quite at 2019 capacity, but we might touch on a few of those numbers. It is certainly rebounding stronger as we move on. Domestic and international business has rebounded really strong this year, but will it be a bit softer next year and then regain into 2025? And I think we've talked about the attraction and retaining the talent in our industry. We're dealing with global inflation pressures and geopolitical challenges around the world. But despite all those challenges, I think our industry has recovered incredibly well, and there is growth opportunities ahead. So my first question, I'll go to Adele from the macro perspective. The market and the economy at large, what are the three big takeouts you've seen from this year that have relevance to our industry?
I think you've touched on some of the things that worry me and that worry all of the people in our business. I think we're tired of talking about inflation. I think we're tired of talking about the cost of living crisis. Those are real things. There'll have been some announcements today by the Treasurer in trying to address those things or not address them. Those are dampeners on the confidence of consumers and on the confidence of many businesses. And so we've seen that come to fruition. In my very next breath, I want to talk about how travel's been more resilient than it should. And I talk about it being remarkably resilient. All the editors always scratch out the word remarkably, because I think the rest of the economy can't believe that we're still feeling positive. We are the one discretionary travel category that seems to be holding up. Now, it's not without softening, and we can see that quarter on quarter that there is a softening, but it is proving to be more resilient. That is because we had pent-up demand, we had pent-up savings as consumers. Businesses had savings because none of us had traveled for quite a long time, and we kept pushing out the next conference and the next business event. But at some point, all of that savings is eaten up. I think we're about at that stage now. So now it's the reality. We have a more challenging economic environment. We've got economic headwinds, we've got global challenges, and yet somehow consumers and businesses continue to invest in this particular space. I think, I don't think I could do one of these presentations without rhyming off the key factors. I think we're at the end when it comes to interest rate rises, any more interest rate rises, and that very tight path that as a country we're trying to navigate feels like we could tip over. We think that will start resetting from the middle of next year. But then our views about the growth of the Australian economy, we're seeing 2023, 2024 at 1.2%. That is not a very big number.
It's slower growth, right?
It's slower growth, and it will bounce back the next year, but it's still a number that doesn't start with a 2. When we put out our tourism forecasts for the domestic and the international industry, we've got a little bit of bounce because we're kind of coming from behind, especially from an international standpoint. But the growth we're seeing, even after we recovered to 2019, is 2 or 3 times what the Australian economy will grow. So we're like a growth engine, and I think it's really important for us in the room and online to remember that when you talk to people. This is a growth engine. It's not just a great industry to work in, and we're all passionate, but it is something that is growing faster than the rest of the economy. So it should be supported using the levers that everybody has.
I think the World Bank actually said that the movement of growth is from the Atlantic to the Pacific. So we in the Asia Pacific are going to fare better than most other countries around the world.
We are, and some of those major countries, and you've mentioned China, were slower to open up.
Yeah.
And so they've still got those reserves of savings and that pent-up demand for travel and businesses in needing to connect.
Yeah.
And that's where we're seeing the stronger growth coming out. Even after we get back to 2019 levels, where's the future growth going to come from? It's going to come out of this region. So we're well positioned in terms of an industry, and we're well positioned globally as well.
Yeah. So take the global. Kelly, you've pretty much been to every continent this year. What have you seen? What's changed?
I think the most exciting thing is that optimism and, the positivity for our industry here, particularly from an international perspective, but also Australia is seen as an aspirational, destination. So I think there's great opportunity for us for future business events, for converting, events to come to Australia in the next 3 to 6 months, as well as longer term if you're talking about association events. So I'm really excited about the positivity and recovery of the industry. Some of our key industry stakeholders, so the convention bureaus and centres who, really drive the international bidding and that we work with are, expecting recovery into the following financial year, so 2024-25, which is great. We've seen from our International Business Events Fund, so that's our subvention fund to help convert business to Australia, some really positive wins in the last few months. So for this calendar year, we've had 39 wins worth 223 million for Australia, and some of those, interestingly, are from China that show really good confidence in Australia for future incentive events. So I think that's, really positive. We're seeing a bit of momentum with some good international wins. And I think the third sort of highlight for me would be the Team Australia approach. And as Lynn said, we have travelled a lot. We help position Australia on the international stage and give industry a platform to, showcase our destinations and product. And for me, that's been a real standout, the Team Australia approach. We have some competitive destinations often at our international trade shows, but everybody presents as a Team Australia, and all of our customers actually see that and comment that, Australia as a country and as a destination works really closely together as passionate industry professionals, and I think that really bodes well for Australia. And the ability to get, customers here to Australia. We've done a number of FAMILs. We did a mega FAMIL showcase here in Sydney. We did our Dreamtime event recently with 9 FAMILs around the country. So that's probably a big call out to all of the industry around Australia that support us in partnerships. We couldn't deliver the activity that we do to help drive awareness of Australia without the partnerships. So we're really grateful for industry helping support the activity that we do.
Great, and Pip Harrison took a delegation of Australian state tourism organisation CEOs and a few of us Convention Bureau CEOs to China earlier this year, and then my team's just been in there and saying that the Prime Minister being in China is really putting Australia at the forefront because not many countries have done that activity this year. So, yeah, congratulations for taking us into that market. Dom, closer to home, the consolidation, it's only sort of 6 months in, and Melissa's, 3 months in. What are some of the highlights so far?
I think the highlights are getting to where we are, and everyone will know that this process started in earnest maybe 18 months ago, but the seeds were sown maybe 10 years ago when we identified that this move, this change, this coming together as one large family was necessary. The highlight is that we have reached where we have an amazing board who is representing our industry. We have been able to come together with 17 new chairs that represent each of the states, 4 pillars and 5 special interest groups. And we're coming together in such a way that what we're doing is identifying the needs of an industry and servicing those needs. So rather than presuming we know what we want, it's been inclusive. So the need has been born from the industry. So the highlight is that we've been able to get here so quickly, but also recognise the work ahead is going to be important to be able to achieve that very important milestone of servicing our industry, ensuring that we're here for the industry's prosperity, whichever way the industry see it for themselves. But that's just so important that we've achieved it. And that's the highlight. We finally have arrived where the industry has said we should be for many, many years.
Yeah, it's really exciting. We've got a good future ahead of us. Let's move to 2024 and beyond. It's just around the corner with Christmas coming. Demographics are changing, customers' expectations are changing, the climate crisis is real, and sustainability and our credentials on the world stage need to really stack up for us to continue to drive business. ESG reporting and regulation is at the fore, the pace of technology, generative AI, and then we talked about the global GDP growth slowing. The federal government just handed down the MIFO, right? So what does that mean, do you think, in a fiscal sense or policy for tourism and trade, Adele, as we move forward into 2024?
I think collectively we know that we're one of the bright stars in terms of the growth that we'll be able to continue to deliver. But we are a little bit on a knife's edge. We've got businesses that are feeling the crunch. We're feeling it in my sector, and we don't want them to accelerate, I guess, the decline of business travel and of sponsoring events. And so we want that to be sustained. So I think there's a theme of sustainability that comes out, and I'm sure the Treasurer's had this as a little bit of a roadmap for what he wanted to get through today. We want the decisions that we're making as an industry, that corporates are making, and that consumers are making to be quite sustainable. The last thing we want after the last 4 years of COVID is to have more of that start and stop. So we want to be making good decisions. I think we're on the right track for that. I think our industry will feel less of that than other industries. But I think and we'll be insulated a little bit specifically around business events because they are big, lumpy things. They're not things that happen every day, and those will be prioritized. And taking strength in that, knowing that, there are some economic headwinds and global economic uncertainties, but then know that we've been through much worse than that, and we're reasonably well set up. Right? We're reasonably well set up to withstand that. But bumpy road ahead, but a smoother path for us.
Yeah. Just quickly on sustainable aviation fuel, It's a long way away. What do you think?
I think being at the very end of the planet, and that's how the rest of the world sees where we are, we have to be making strides. I think we are having the conversations, we're seeing it discussed, but we're going to want to, in the next 12 or 18 months, to see some real commitments. Otherwise, I think that some of the customers you'll be talking to will be wondering why we haven't had those. And so right now, it's very much an aviation sector conversation. I think we need to lean in and make it a travel industry and a visitor economy conversation. They're having it by themselves.
Yeah, I agree. I think if you listen to event owners in Europe, they are asking their delegates to come by train to those European locations. So we really have to dial up our sustainability credentials to offset that the best we can, but it is coming our way. So lean into that sustainable fuel and aviation. Kelly, 2024, you've decided to do Dreamtime, which is now Australia Next 3 times in a row.
Yes.
Tells us a lot. You're going to lean into the market while you can. There's a lot of business from China that can't go to Canada and the US. Is that why you're doing that, to see if we can capitalise?
Yeah, I think so. Given we couldn't, so Dreamtime, which is now Australia Next, is our incentive showcase event. We bring 120 international buyers and media to Australia to really experience the destination firsthand and get to meet our industry. We hadn't been able to deliver the event for 4 years. We did it recently in Adelaide, and then the buyers got to experience destinations around Australia. And I think we just feel that in order to support the industry, to drive recovery, we are seeing the incentive sector bouncing back, faster. So in order to do that, Tourism Australia is going to deliver 3 years in a row. So Australia Next will be delivered in September in Cairns this year, and then there'll be another one in 2025, and we'll then go back to our biannual cadence after that. But it's a good way to drive recovery while we can and keep that momentum moving.
And we're finding from the corporate incentive market, it's 6 weeks to bid, win, and then someone delivers the event. So get ready, people. It's coming at us in the first quarter next year. Dom, from the membership perspective, what are your members saying about next year?
Pleasingly, what they're saying is that they need what the vision was that we needed to deliver, which is great. We understand the importance of research. We understand the importance of sustainability. We understand the importance of careers and pathways, and the list goes on. Melissa made reference to them. Jeff made reference to them. And what we are doing is gearing up to work on delivering programs that meet industry needs, that fulfil what our industry is saying they need to be able to further prosper their own businesses and their own people and their own work environments. So 2024, we'll see very, very soon, we will launch our calendar, which will give our members and industry an insight into what our plans are, which will include our ability or our willingness to connect with our members. It will include programs to deliver on sustainability, on education, further activities which Melissa will refer to later on today. But it's all very, very positive, because at the end of the day, the industry association's about, as I keep saying, about being inclusive, and for it to be inclusive, we have to be able to do the right thing for our members, and that's very high on our agenda.
Yeah, you're definitely on that listening tour, which is fantastic. 20 minutes goes really fast, people, so I'm going to end with one question. Australia's pretty renowned on the world stage. We do things incredibly well here, but if you looked at innovation and generative AI and sustainability and technology around that, one thing that you think from an innovation standpoint is possible for us as Australia?
I think for us it's about just demonstrating the fact that we deliver world-class events. We deliver innovation with our infrastructure, with the events that we can deliver, and it's continuing to showcase from an association perspective, Australia and our state's key industry sectors. So I think it's continuing to elevate the work that we do and demonstrating that we can deliver amazing events.
Perfect. Adele?
I think AI is on everyone's list. And I think that as an industry, we don't quite yet necessarily know what that means. Some of us are experimenting. I know that many of you are experimenting. That's going to allow us to do more impressive things in the future with less resource. That's the whole point of AI. This is a people-intensive business. Imagine being able to deliver hyper-personalized opportunities when people come here. We're going to invite them to come all of the way here and using what they know us to be a differentiator, but then adding that layer, the rest of the world is doing it. Yeah. And so not shying away from it. This should not be scary. This is an opportunity. So carving out 10% to invest in that, I think is really critical.
And experimenting.
Yeah.
Carefully and ethically.
Carefully and ethically.
Dom, last word?
I think that we don't know what IA is capable of as yet. We know it's out there. We know it's going to help our industry. But we also know that we're a face-to-face industry, and our success comes from stimulating the 5 senses and having that personal interactions. That's why we're successful. That's why our industry has been around for thousands of years in one way or another, where people come together to create a transaction of sorts. That will never be taken away. What AI will do is help us better deliver the face-to-face interaction. How that is, we're yet to learn, but I have no doubt all it'll do is help us do it better.
And we could have gone on for hours, so you do need to go to the annual conference next year, because this will be the dialogue that we're having. Please join me in thanking Kelly, Adele and Dom. Thanks. Back to you, Melissa.
Thank you so much for those great insights, and it's an interesting thing when we talk about what's going on overseas as well, because we are the envy of a lot of other countries in the business events industry, because they've been trying to do what we've done here and they're all on the lookout. So if we're out there innovating on AI and various other things, they'll be watching out for that as well. So thank you once again. So we're going from one group of experts to another group. We've got, as I mentioned, 17 chairs of our councils. And so what we wanted to do today was have you meet all of them, and they all can't be in one city or all the cities. So here they are now, just to introduce themselves to you.
My name is Simon Burgess. I'm the General Manager here at the National Wine Centre based in Adelaide. I'm also the new chair of ABEA's South Australia Council. Look, I think it's important that South Australia is part of the broader national conversation on business events. Our industry doesn't always get the recognition it deserves, and I think with ABEA, we've got an organisation that is truly representative of the industry, and an organisation that I think is capable of making change. During the pandemic, we all lost a lot of industry capability, and a key priority for the South Australian chapter would be to make connections with educational institutions to ensure that their students know that there's a career pathway waiting for them in business events, together with ongoing educational opportunities. I'm sincerely hoping that we have a strong South Australian contingent attending ABEA's first national event, which will be a powerful statement for the industry and for our new association. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Helen Mantellato from ICC Sydney, and I'm proud to have the opportunity to be the chair of the New South Wales chapter of the Australian Business Events Association. The New South Wales chapter will have a diverse mix of people from organisations large and small who will work with me on the council to help the prosperity of our New South Wales members. This work will be done in conjunction with the other pillar and special interest group chairs. Furthermore, our national meetings will allow me to discuss and exchange ideas with my interstate colleagues, which will only help us positively support this incredible industry of ours. We look forward to 2024, participating in state-based discussions, leveraging our insights, initiatives and ideas to support the future strength of our industry, and of course hosting some networking events. I'd love to hear your thoughts, so please have a chat with me when you can or drop me an email. Best wishes to you and your families for the festive season.
Hello, I'm Brooke Campbell, Head of Business Events for Experience Gold Coast and the Chair for the Queensland chapter of ABEA. I'm fairly new to Queensland myself. I've only recently moved to the Gold Coast from Melbourne about 4 months ago, and I'm certainly enjoying the lifestyle of the destination and the community of the business events industry. Given ABEA is a fairly newly formed association, I'm delighted to be part of the team and be in this role, as I'm sure it will allow me to connect, learn and grow, and obviously build the business events industry closer together. For 2024, I welcome you to connect with me, share your voice, your thoughts, concerns and challenges so we can work together as one team to support this incredible industry we work with. I'd like to wish everyone a really fun and festive and safe holidays, and look forward to working with you in 2024. Thanks so much.
Hello everyone, my name is Peter Sarvoff, and I'm the ABEA Chapter Chair for the NT and General Manager of the Darwin Convention Centre. Since the official launch of ABEA several months ago, I'm proud to say that many of our NT business events colleagues have now formalised their membership, and there is great support to join our state committee and special interest groups. On behalf of all NT members, we look forward to making a proactive contribution to the ongoing growth and success of ABEA in 2024 and working closely with Melissa Brown in achieving this. Best wishes for everyone for the festive season. Thank you.
Festive greetings from Western Australia. My name is Jessica Ferguson and I am the chair of the West Australian Chapter Council, and our key priority is for driving positive impact for our local business events community. The main areas that we're looking to drive impact in 2024 is by providing educational workshops and regular occasions for networking, mentorship, and knowledge sharing across all facets of our industry. Our goal is to engage and foster the emerging talent and future leaders, but also to lift our industry standards by building connections across the full supply chain for events. This also includes boosting the WA representation on the special interest groups and sector pillar chapters. Our committee has been meeting monthly since September to gain traction quickly, and we've already hosted our first October event for new members and prospective members to introduce Melissa and our committee to discuss the benefits and the future vision for ABEA. Our committee is enthusiastic and eager to build on the momentum for 2024, with a workshop event already in the pipeline for the first quarter of the year. So if you're in WA, stay tuned for great things to come.
Hi everyone, it's Marnie from the Tasmanian State Chapter. We're really in our building phase. I'm really pleased to announce that Nathan Dark from the Hobart Airport and Kim Upton from the Tasman have joined me on the committee, and we're starting planning for 2024. We're thrilled to be working with ABEA and can't wait to see you all next year.
Hi, my name's Tim Hancock from ASN Events. I'm very proud to be the inaugural chair of the Victorian State Chapter Council. I want to welcome everyone this evening to the Connection Drinks, and also welcome co-councillors in Hannah von Bibra, Rebecca Eagleson and Claire Baisley. They're around the room tonight, so say hi. Sorry I can't be there. We have our ASN Events Christmas party and I'll be driving a go-kart somewhere dressed as Fred from Scooby-Doo, but that's a story for another time. I'm looking forward to engaging really closely with colleagues, friends, stakeholders, professionals, not only from Victoria and Melbourne, but around Australia, and certainly with the other sector council chairs and pillar group chairs, to create a united voice in 2024 for the Australian Business Events Association. So welcome once again. I look forward to catching up with all of you, meeting you all soon. Have a great evening and a Merry Christmas.
Yuma. My name is Stephen Wood and I'm the General Manager of the National Convention Centre here in Canberra. And I'm very happy to be the Australian Business Events Association Chapter Chair for the ACT, Ngunnawal and Indigenous Country. Being at the heart of national advocacy and federal politics, we're looking forward to playing our role in supporting ABEA in its national efforts. We have a well-connected business events community here, and in 2024, our membership base for ABEA will be very much made up of international and national scale businesses, as well as small enterprise that's involved in the business events community. It'll be our role to raise the profile of ABEA and make sure that everyone is informed of the benefits they can gain from membership. From the ACT community, we wish you a very happy Christmas and a safe and merry New Year. Thank you.
G'day, I'm Sam Glass. I'm the Director of Corporate Affairs, Communication and Sustainability at ICC Sydney, and I'm delighted to be the new Chair of the Australian Business Events Association, Sustainability Council and Special Interest Group. 2023 was our warmest ever recorded year, and so it's an important time to reflect on what we need to do to return to using one Earth's resources. We need to be able to make change, both big and small, and we need to seek to leave nobody behind. And as an industry, what we'd like to do for our members is to make sure that you have the resources, tools and education that you need to understand your environmental impact, what your carbon footprint might be, and how you can seek to reduce that, but also the positive things that you can do within your community to address things like hunger and poverty and provide positive social impact change. Thank you.
Hello, my name is David Longman from Diversified Communications Australia, and I'm the chair of the Risk, Work Health and Safety Special Interest Group, or SIG. The SIG Council currently comprises 6 ABEA members, covering suppliers, venues and organisers, aiming to meet 4 to 6 times a year. Alongside myself, we have a wealth of knowledge providing input and guidance to our council. However, we are looking for others to join our committee, particularly if you're from the supplier side of the industry. So if you'd like to be part of this practical group of passionate industry folk and would like to make a meaningful change to the way our industry thinks about risk and safety, please let Dom know and he'll make the introductions. We have a vision to foster the culture of safety excellence within the Australian business events industry, ensuring the well-being of all stakeholders through proactive risk management and advocacy, innovative work, health and safety initiatives, and steadfast commitment to creating secure and enjoyable event experiences. So if this sounds like something you'd like to be part of, please reach out, as the broader the network, the more meaningful our initiatives will be. I look forward to meeting you at upcoming ABEA functions and hopefully at our all-industry SIG in the new year. In the meantime, I wish you and your families a happy, healthy holidays. Thank you.
Hi everybody, I'm Kim Gesson. I'm the General Manager at the Brisbane Convention and Exhibition Centre. I'm also the Chair of the Education Special Interest Group. Very pleased to announce the Council members tonight. Tony McAllister, Senior Manager for Business Development, Audiovisual at ICC Sydney. Russell McIntosh, who's the General Manager of Trade Show Training, and Amy Saleh, the Ops Director at Hanover Fairs, and also the SIG Chair for Emerging Leaders. Between us, we've got a broad range of deep experience across the industry, and all of us have a passion for education, learning pathways and professional development. Our plan for 2024 is to hold our first meeting early in the new year. It's clear education is such a broad subject, and it's going to be great to hear your perspective. Look forward to chatting early 2024. Thanks. Bye.
Hello from Sydney, Australia. My name is Amy Sala and I'm the Operations Director at Hanover Fairs Australia, as well as the proud Chair of the Australian Business Events Association's Emerging Leaders Council. Along with myself, the Council comprises of our exceptional Vice Chair, Jasmine Pohl, the Exhibitions and Event Development Manager at the Adelaide Convention Centre, my brilliant colleague Blake Edwards, Marketing Director at Hanover Fairs Australia, and the wonderful Simon Jacobs, Business Development Manager at Business Events Victoria, with exciting new additions to our band of pirates being announced in 2024. On behalf of your Emerging Leaders Council, we look forward to another year of connection and collaboration and are so excited to continue representing, building and serving our industry's best and brightest young talent.
Hi, I'm Joanne Kellaway. I was the CEO and founder of InfoSalons Group, but I sold it to a company called Freeman in the States right before COVID. I now represent Freeman as their international industry ambassador. But I'm more proud to be the chair of the Life Members Group for the ABEA. I'm very proud of this group. We have a wealth of experience and knowledge, and we want to be there to advise, mentor, and provide experience on information that you may need as we develop our industry into the future. We look forward to being part of that journey. Thank you.
Hi there, my name is Matt Pearce and I'm the chairman of the Special Interest Group for Organisers. Now, an organiser can be an organiser of any event, whether it's a trade show, a consumer show, a conference, really anything that involves organising an event. So we are very keen to have as many people join us as we can. We meet on a quarterly basis and really we discuss anything and everything to do with organising events, the good, the bad, the ugly, some of the issues that may be pressing us. And we really just share in Chatham House rules, share just some learning experiences that we've had or ideas from each other on best practices. So please do join us. We are looking at doing extra things next year in 24, such as deep dives into certain areas, whether it's data or health and security or staffing best practices, whatever it may be. Do join us on a quarterly basis and we look forward to seeing you then.
Hi everybody, my name is Nigel Keane, the General Manager of the Perth Convention and Exhibition Centre. I'm also the Chair for the Special Interest Group for Venues and sit on the board of ABEA. Speaking to my colleagues within the venues around the country, we've all been extremely busy this year and we're looking forward to the festive break. Next year promises to be even bigger, so I look forward to seeing you in 2024. Take care.
Hi everybody, it's Keith Wooden from AV1. I'm the Supplier Sector Pillar Chair for ABEA. A number of suppliers met a couple of weeks back and discussed all manner of different items pertaining to the interests of suppliers in the industry, ranging across multiple different topics. I was very thankful that in the association already there are a number of special interest groups that can actually address many of the issues that were brought up. across WHS, across sustainability, and across pathways to the industry. These areas, I feel that we can certainly leave with these special interest groups and then concentrate specifically on items that relate to suppliers, such as marketing, communications, supplier, marketplace, the ability for suppliers to sell their wares not only to the market itself within ABEA, but also beyond that. So very much looking forward to participating with members and suppliers for the year ahead and beyond, in order to ensure that we can really kickstart this association, make sure that it is of great value to all members. Thanks, looking forward to catching up soon.
Hi, I'm Gareth Mutton, CEO of Business Events Perth and Chair of the Australian Business Events Association Destination and Bureau Group. Our Deputy Chair is Rebecca McKay, Director of Business Events Northern Territory, and our group encompasses Bureau across all states, territories and major destinations in Australia. The formation of the Australian Business Events Association earlier this year marked a pivotal moment for our industry, and as we approach the new year, we're excited about the opportunity to work together with the board, Melissa and her team as a national body with a collective voice to promote the business event sector in Australia. We hope you have a wonderful Connect and Celebrate event across the country today and a safe and happy festive season ahead with your loved ones.
So much of their time to pull these groups together and do some amazing work, and I've already sat in on a few of the meetings and there's so many great ideas and opportunities, so thank you to all the chairs. And I also want to thank the state and territory leads because they are our hosts for the Celebrate networking function afterwards. With the exception, as you saw, of Melbourne. We want photos of Tim in that Scooby-Doo outfit or whatever he's wearing in the Dodgem cars. So the other thing I just wanted to cover off was some announcements. So I have a few, and the first of those is that going back to the point about membership and hearing what you've got to say, I know we get a bit tired of surveys, but I think we are due one to find out what our stake in the ground is on some of the actions we need to take. So that will be coming out to you over the next month. The second announcement is that as I've travelled around Australia, we do an amazing job with our First Nations people, and we know also that sustainability is not just about environmental action and climate change and social impact, but it's also about respecting our culture. And we have a unique 60,000-year-old culture. And I think for us to respect that more and work with that culture, we have decided that we will be looking for a First Nation advisor who will work with our board in 2024, which is great. The third announcement is around AIM, which is in February. So we will be hosting the Knowledge Forum, Leadership Forum in the afternoon in the Knowledge section. So that's over 2 hours, where we'll be bringing around 100 leaders together and really driving down more on what is our proposition for the business events industry, be it to that talent that we're trying to attract or be it to our government stakeholders and others. But coming out of that as an interactive session, not a talk-at session, so that it's something that everyone is backing and engaged in and gets behind. The fourth thing to announce is linked to that session. We will be launching in the next week a challenge for our emerging leaders, so look out for that. That challenge, the winner for that will not only be attending the forum and AIM, but they will be getting up in front of the 100 leaders to present to them. So if you are frightened with the stage, don't apply, but a great opportunity otherwise. And then the last announcement is a big one. We will be welcoming you back here to the ICC on the 10th and 11th of December next year for our national conference. So thank you to Jeff and the team, the hosts for the inaugural Australian Business Events Association event. And at that event, we will also be celebrating, we need some things to celebrate around the national awards there. So we will come back with more detail and criteria around that, because it is all encompassing for the industry, and we need to make sure that there are awards for everyone to be able to apply for. So there's some of the themes that we will be looking at and the categories, but more detail to come on that, and very exciting. So lastly, I just wanted to finish off with a few thanks. Firstly, thanks to the board. They have been a great support. To the team, the little team that we are. Annabelle has only been with us 4 weeks and has hit the ground at leopard sprint capacity and coordinated these events around Australia for us today. So thanks to Annabelle. And thank you to Dom, the Rock, who has put up with me and is the most patient man on the earth and is just such a good bloke. And thank you to all of our venues and sponsors. So today wouldn't be possible without you. And we will enjoy all your food and drinks in a few short moments. So all I can say now is oil the engines. It's been a long year. I know a lot of people are crawling to the finishing line. So be ready for a big 2024. Have a delicious Christmas break and be safe and have a lovely Christmas. And thank you very much.